Breaking tonight, the McKinney, Texas police officer at the center of a national controversy over excessive force and some alleged racism has just resigned. Corporal Eric Casebolt was caught on video drawing his weapon on a group of teens, then taking down a young teenage girl as he responded to a disturbance at a pool party. While some residents backed the police response and said the kids were the ones out of control, McKinney Police Chief Greg Conley tonight described this officer's actions as, quote, indefensible.
Our policies, our training, our practice do not support his actions. He came into the call out of control, and as the video shows, was out of control during the incident.
Sheriff David Clark is the sheriff of Milwaukee County, and my guest now. Sheriff, good to see you. So now he has voluntarily resigned, which means he can get hired someplace else, which people are objecting to. And some are calling, including the young woman whose knee he had in her back, is calling for him to be criminally charged, as are others. First of all, do you think he should have been allowed to voluntarily resign?
Well, that's up to him. He gets to do that on his own if he wants. I find it highly unlikely that he'll get another job in law enforcement. He'll have to undergo a background investigation. When we hire our officers, we do a thorough background investigation, and he'll have to say where he worked in law enforcement. And with the amplification of this case now nationally, this McKinney, Texas local case, it'd be highly unlikely that anybody would want to take him on.
How about criminal charges?
I don't think, from what I saw, and look, I don't have all of the facts. I saw the video, watched it several times, but that's only part of the entire incident, so I want to be careful there. However, what I saw tactically, I had a huge problem with some of the things that that officer did. You know, he lost his head. He lost his cool. He didn't keep his wits about him. Mm-hmm. We demand that our officers keep their wits about them in these volatile situations. You saw how chaotic it was. But he didn't do that. I heard the chief's comments that it was outside of their policy, but that doesn't mean that it's criminal. I don't think this rises to the level of a criminal charge.
What in your mind was worse? Drawing his gun on a bunch of teenagers, which can lead to very bad things, as we've seen, or what he did to that 14-year-old girl?
Well, I don't see this as a zero-sum game. I find both of those actions highly problematic. He draws his weapon. You know, he's got to articulate the reason why, and I didn't see it there, but I wasn't on the scene, and I want to make that clear. But he already had the girl on the ground, and he was trying to turn her over for some reason. And like I said, he was highly agitated, and that contributed to this. It's unfortunate he lost his wits, but as far as a criminal charge, I don't see this rising to the level of a criminal charge.
What happens if he does get charged? I mean, what will happen? You know, we saw the Baltimore police get charged, which many believe was appropriate, many don't. And now they're pushing to have this cop charged. I mean, is that appropriate? And is that sort of, you know, where we're going to go with these cops who many people feel are out of control?
Well, not if it doesn't meet the elements of the crime, and you know what that is, Megan, with your background in law. But if they're doing it just to satisfy an angry mob and some people who are looking for blood, that's the wrong thing to do. You don't use the criminal justice in that fashion. And that's why I said I don't think this rises to the level of a criminal charge. And if he gets charged, because the prosecutor there can certainly charge him, and the police department can take the charges and over to the district attorney or the state's attorney and get a charge issued. But he'll go through it just like anybody else would. But I don't see how that serves anything at this point.
What do you make of, you know, they're saying this is about race. Some people are saying this is about race. And today we heard a statement from a man named Reverend Ronald Wright, who's the executive director of Justice Seekers in Texas, who said the following. Listen.
We're setting the stage for a terrorist attack in this country. And the group is not going to be ISIS, it's going to be us. Us against these injustice law officers and people who continue to allow racism to grow into this city.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, Justice Seekers, you said the name of his group was. Mm-hmm. How about Revenge Seekers? It sounds more like to me. Look, there's no need for people to engage in hyperbole, and that's all that was. When we have these incidents, I think the system within the American police profession does a good job of self-correcting. We need to identify those people who aren't a good fit for this and get rid of them. But, you know, the rhetoric coming out of there, the hyperbole, again, that's over the top, and it doesn't serve anything either.
In the wake of the attacks, we've seen, you know, cops getting shot in the face in some of the rhetoric. You see this guy coming out and saying it's USIS. a terrorist attack is coming against these unjust law enforcement officers who allow racism in the cities. It's a little incendiary, Reverend. Sheriff, good to see you.
Way incendiary. Thank you, Megan.
Well,